Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So funny enough, I actually just posted a video about my top 5 wide receivers that I feel like the Jets should be targeting this upcoming free agency period. And I want to say maybe 2-3 minutes ago, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN reported that the 2 wide receivers that are really high on the Jets list, I think quote unquote at the top of the Jets list, include Juju Smith-Schuster of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who was actually on that top 5 video. He wasn't one of the top 5, but he was the bonus one at the end. And then Will Fuller of the Houston Texans. They also mentioned Zach Pascal as kind of a second option, right? He's in that second tier of the Colts, but those are the top 2 guys as we stand right now. As far as this report is concerned, Smith-Schuster, Will Fuller. Now let's talk about Juju first. It was so obvious that Smith-Schuster was going to be high on the Jets list. I mean, number one, he's a perfect fit for the Mike LaFleur West Coast system, but look at everything else that Smith-Schuster provides for this Jets team, or for really any offensive coordinator, any offense out there. Number one, he has size, 6'1", over 200 pounds. He has great hands. He has great production throughout the course of his Pittsburgh Steelers career. Yards, catches, touchdowns, it's all there. He does really well in the short passing game, really well in the middle of the field. He can hurt you in the intermediate game as well. Does a great job of separating, right, getting open. He's just a versatile chess piece on the offensive side of the football that any offensive coordinator can utilize. He's that Swiss Army knife. Great player. And he's young too. I think he's only 23, 24. I think he's 24 years old right now. And back in 2018, where he absolutely lit up the NFL, it was pretty fun to watch. Like, it's not like Juju Smith was a top 5 pick, a top 10 pick here. He wasn't even a first-round pick, all right? It was really fun to watch Smith-Schuster dominate back in 2018. I think he had over 1,400 yards. And then he kind of fell off. Then 2020, nobody was really talking about him so much, and Pittsburgh has so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball with James Washington, DeAndre Johnson, so many different guys, right? I can go on and on and on about how many how many weapons the Steelers have. James Conner, all these different guys. But look, Smith-Schuster on the field is fantastic, right? He's a great young player, ascending. But there is a downside. There is a downside, and it's a big downside. It's off the field. Now, he's not getting in trouble. It's not serious. There's no like allegations or any serious law trouble. It's just priorities. It's maturity. It's concerning. Does Smith-Schuster care more about football than he does with social media, gaming, TikTok, likes? He kind of has a reputation around the league that it turns players off. That Juju Smith-Schuster is a distraction. That he's kind of this immature kid that is really talented, really productive, right, in the NFL. He can play for sure. But does he care about winning? Does he care about stats? Does he care about really anything? Or is he just using this platform because he's so good at it, where it's kind of just like, yeah, this is my job? That's a concern. That's a major concern. I mean, we saw how Pittsburgh played down the stretch of last season. They completely fell apart. And there was no sort of sense of urgency from Smith-Schuster to maybe put down the phone or anything like that. We even saw it in the Bengal game. Like, that was it. That was the main storyline of the game. Juju Smith-Schuster dancing on every team's logo before the game for TikTok, and the Bengals took it personally. And the Bengals, I don't even know how many wins they had at the time. They're a bottom team in this league. Humiliated Pittsburgh. They humiliated them. Okay, so it's a major concern, but that's a question that Joe Douglas, it's a question that the coaching staff will have to answer. If we bring Juju Smith-Schuster in, is it going to be a distraction, right? Are the pros going to outweigh the cons? And I think in a lot of cases it will, but it's just it's a sketchy situation. Now, of course, we do have to mention that we are in an off-season period. Can Smith-Schuster mature in this offseason? I would say it's unlikely, given his age, given his kind of his reputation right now, given how massive of a, I guess, personality he is off the field. But nonetheless, Juju Smith is a highly productive player. He'd be a great fit for the Jets offense, and he will definitely help out who's ever under center for the team next season. So that leads me to Will Fuller. And although I like Juju Smith-Schuster, I like him a lot, I think with Will Fuller, I just don't know how I feel about this one. I think right now Will Fuller would be a huge upgrade on the offensive side of the football, right? He can hurt you down the field. He's coming off the best season of his career. A lot of touchdown passes. I believe he had 8. Good player nonetheless. He's not some horrendous option at the wide receiver position. But here's what kind of gets under my skin. Reading this news, instant reaction here, okay? News came out, I don't know, 3-4 minutes ago. I feel like we had a player very, very similar to Will Fuller in Robbie Anderson, and we didn't value him. Now, granted, we have a new coaching staff. We have a brand new offense being installed, everything like that. We have a new quarterback at the helm, and there were questions about Sam Darnold's ability to throw the ball downfield to begin with. So how important is Robbie Anderson to the team? But I felt as though Joe Douglas kind of said, you know what, Robbie, you're good, you're young, but we don't think you're worth what you're asking. So he goes to Carolina and has the best season of his career, and we go for the cheaper one-year option of Rashad Perryman. I'm looking at Fuller, I'm looking at Anderson. Anderson's a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, no injuries, young, ascending. I mean, with Will Fuller, I mean, he hasn't played a full season in his career. How many seasons has he played? 5? He is yet to play 16 games in a season. He was suspended last year for PEDs. I'm just not so again, I think Fuller would be an upgrade. He would be a nice addition to this Jets team, right? He would come in and be like the number one option that I think for this Jets team right now, right down the field, especially if the Jets were to go out and get a Zach Wilson. If they do pull off a trade for Deshaun Watson, you have that instant chemistry. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Would you like it if the Jets went out and pursued these guys? Would you like these contracts? Do you think Juju's too much of a distraction? Do you think Will Fuller's too injury prone? He's just too much of a headache at this point in his career? Or would you like it, right? Or would you think that both of these guys would be beautiful, beautiful additions to this team? So again, I'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Jets.